Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and pick back up on this one. This is the S30V that I did the factory edge test on. This is edge number 1. I'm going to go ahead and cut with that so we can compare it to the factory results and get an idea of how much one sharpening is actually worth in performance. Now, I know you guys that longtime viewers, people that watch the channel regularly, I know you guys have heard this before. I'm hoping this gets to some other people, maybe some people that might just click on this video one time, not a subscriber, just stumble across one of these videos. That way they'll know if you cut with a factory edge, you can expect this amount, and this is how much you gain just by putting just one sharpening on it. I did not change the bevel angle. You can see there's still a little bit of that belt chatter up there at the top. Their angle's a little bit different through that area. And this side over here got a little bit in the middle, but otherwise we're right on the money. So, direct comparison, only difference being the factory edge and now the very first sharpening on diamond plates. So go ahead and do the cutting real quick, speed that up, and we'll come back, just do a quick recap of what the factory edge on this was able to do, and then we'll talk about how much the first sharpening picked up and what that difference was between the two. Alright, now that we saw that cutting, I'm going to go ahead and talk about how this did. So, if you remember back, or if you watched the first video, you do know that on the factory edge, this S30V cut 36 feet. That was it. That's all it had. Wouldn't cut paper after that. Had a few hang-ups in it. So, went ahead and sharpened it one time, like normal. I will note this particular S30V came up very nice. Very easy to sharpen. Deburred very easily. No issues with it whatsoever. Really looking forward to running this one. So sharpened it the same way. As always, the only thing that I did not change yet is the angle. And I did measure it. It is very close to where I test anyway. It is just over 16 degrees on each side. So, not going to be a whole lot of difference there. So on this one edge right here, the cutting you just saw, I only did the fine edge for my own personal notes. just to see what the improvement would be in that as I test the third edge and the verification on the fourth edge. But I'll go ahead and throw it out there so that it is a data point for when I do the other testing. It did 115 feet before it quit shaving for fine edge. So what was the total amount cut in a 1-inch section? On the very first sharpening on this S30V, 204 feet. And that is an increase of 167 feet worth of cutting in a 1-inch section. So that is quite a huge jump from what the factory edge did. This is why I keep saying it's important to sharpen your knives. Prior to testing factory edges, just about everything I get in, I sharpen before I use, at least one time. Strictly for that reason, how much difference it actually makes. Now, those of you that follow Roman, K-Knives Switzerland on Instagram, he just recently did a micro Vickers testing on a knife that was treated to 56 Rockwell at the spine. It was then dry ground and micro tested down at the apex to see what the hardness difference was. And the closest difference was 12 points softer at the apex than the spine. So the tightest grouping was 44 for a hardness down at the spine, 56, I'm sorry, down at the apex, 56 up at the spine. How much effect does that have on factory stuff? Most places don't do water-cooled grinding and water-cooled sharpening. If you go back even further in Roman's Instagram feed, he did test a Benchmade, and it was 60 at the spine and 54 to 55 down by the apex. Did this one maybe not get as hot or something, not take as much fatigue? Maybe. 204 feet, that's the best S30V that I've run so far by about 25 feet or so. So I am looking forward to running edge 3 and 4 on this to see what it's actually going to do. May throw another S30V in there to go along with it, but that shows you why sharpening is so important. Now, is this going to pick up on the third and fourth edge? I don't know. Basing it off of the past factory S30V I've tested, I don't know if it has any more in it. I could be totally wrong though. I really have no idea. So I am curious to get this tested. It's probably going to be at least a week before you guys see that. I have some other things I have to take care of this week, the end of this week, beginning of next week. So for now, that's all I have for this one. If you have any questions, comments, anything else, drop them down below. For those of you wondering about the skinny PM2, I did grind down into the liners. I then powder coated everything that was not black, and then I kind of beat on it. You can see where I got a little bit to come off right here, and up here on the lock got a little silver spot showing. So definitely gonna fix that at some point, but that's what I did to get a skinny PM2. that's all I have for this one. As always, I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.